couple of hours time, Global will be having its update, and from that we'll get the Itadori as well as the free-to-play Mahito, of course, the green DPS. I know a lot of people are waiting for this man. He's going to be here not that long, and yeah, I don't know about you guys, but this is definitely going to be a character that I'm going to level up, do up quite nicely, and prepare for going forward, because in terms of green coverage, especially in the free-to-play manner, this Mahito, he does hit that sweet spot, I will say. But in terms of where I've got him right now, grade 14, 110, 8 levels across the board, and yeah, I mean, he's doing his job. He's doing his part in terms of, you know, supporting Gojo, in this case my main DPS. At times I will utilize Mahito if I need to, in terms of being the main unit going forward, if I do want to switch up my game plan, and get that ultimate fast, get that domain expansion cooking up, buff him up so that way he hits like an absolute truck. So just to give you guys a bit of a rundown on what this man is looking like. So this is the green attack in Mahito. So when it comes to his characteristic, receives damage when targeting by reverse curse technique, able to attack souls and weak to soul damage. First skill, deals damage, taijutsu ranged 130 through level 1, 170 at level 5, 200 at level 10. If the enemy does not have a weakness to green type, changes the skill effect to deals 200% ranged taijutsu damage to the selected enemy as a type that the selected enemy has a weakness to. So the first skill, again, is always going to be giving you that type of advantage play no matter what the enemy is weak to. Attacks without a type when selecting an enemy without a weakness. While the domain is active, depending on how low the enemy's HP, you can potentially insta-kill. Now, I will say with this first skill, even though you do get the type of advantage play going on, it doesn't really hit that hard. It's more of like a chip damage going on, you know, kind of wasting a turn if need be, doing a little bit of a advantage chip damage play, so that's kind of best. Moving on to skill 2, grants miniaturization status to self, and then fills ultimate skill gauge by 270. Once you activate the miniaturization status, you evade single target attacks. So ultimate chasing, protection going on, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Now, if you have the domain expansion activated, then you do 336 melee taijutsu damage as a type that the selected enemy has a weakness to. Attacks without a type when selecting an enemy without a weakness increases the selected enemy taijutsu damage received by 20% for 2 turns. Depending on own Jujutsu and enemies HP remaining, you can insta-kill. So pretty much once you're in that domain expansion, make good use of actually applying this skill onto the enemy so that in the long run, more looking into the third skill, you can really pile on to do maximum damage from that. Level 1's at 224%, level 5's at 274, and then level 3's 336. Everything else stays the same, it's just the melee damage output on this skill is what changes. Wait, does it? Yeah, I thought the ultimate fill gauge changes too, but it doesn't. Okay. The third skill is where you get most of the damage from, so it deals 400 on level 1, 500, level 5 is 489, and then level 10 is 600, or 601. So you do melee Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy, depending on, again, their HP, you can insta-kill. While the domain is active, changes the skill effect to increase his own Jujutsu damage by 30% for 1 turn, 1 time. Deals 676 at level 10, so 550 at level 5. Melee Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy, and then again, depending on where their healths are, you can insta-kill. The domain expansion, level 1 666, level 5 961, level 10 1331. I've got it at level 8, so it's at 1183. Range Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy, deals damage equal to minus 50% of all enemies HP. So take good note of that, by the way, really good note of that. Expand the domain for 4 turns while the domain is active, grants guaranteed hit effect and attack immunity nullification to self, decreases own damage received by 27%. Does that change? It does. You can buff that up so you can reduce taking less damage. Unable to fill ultimate skill gauge. Easy, yeah, self-explanatory. When using a skill, depending on own Jujutsu and enemies remaining HP, you can insta-kill. Depletes own cursed energy when domain deactivates. Unable to fill ultimate skill gauge after 2 turns when the domain deactivates. In terms of the combination, Jujutsu damage increased by 10%, then you do 200% AoE damage. That's the combination. And then when it comes to the auto skill, at the start of each turn, if own HP is 70% or below and own cursed energy is 40 or above, recovers own HP by 8%. If the lower the HP is, the greater the HP recovery, up to 16%. Inflicts damage cut to self, decreases own damage received by 12%, and then the higher own cursed energy is, the greater the damage received, decrease up to 24%. So you really do want to play off by having your cursed energy high up there if you are taking hits. So that's kind of Mahito in a nutshell and how he's working. Again, an extremely fantastic free-to-play character. Alrighty guys, so Mahito is in the building. Now, the way I like to use Mahito is, like, he does a lot of damage. Now, okay, so I do want to utilize Mahito in a scenario such as this. So let's kind of see how this one plays out. So we'll just kind of do this as per usual. Do our buffs, there we go. And we are now going to work towards building. Oh, okay, he's got AoE damage. That is actually fairly scary because, yeah, Mahito can't dodge those. He can dodge single attacks, but can't dodge AoE attacks. Okay, there we go. He's doing his thing. Oh, he's got the evasion on too. Oh, you son of a gun! I literally just had my. Oh, okay, that's super annoying. Okay, I'm gonna get this going so that way we can protect ourselves. There we go. God damn you, stupid boss. Okay, aim for Mahito. Mahito can tank that. Okay, so we'll drop this. I'm gonna have to do that, unfortunately. Okay, that's fine. Okay, Mahito, do your thing. Let's see what you can cook. Got a stun, nice. If we don't get the break, that's a-okay. So we've got that extra free turn. So obviously the Jujutsu damage increase will come into factor because of the ultimate. Domain expansion is applied. Let's go. Bop. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh. That's why I love Mahito. Usually the second hit does the most in terms of AoE. 2.4. Very nice, very nice. Okay, so now what we can do is we can keep up with the buffs. We don't need to ult chase, so we're just kind of take it easy now. And we will utilize my boy Mahito's third skill. I mean, technically I can link it up with the second skill, get the taijutsu drop. Wait, I think the enemy's got protection. So in a scenario where the enemy's obviously got that buff protection, you're a-okay because you can, again, as you saw right there, link it up quite nicely with the third skill right there, which is beautiful. So we're just kind of quicken up the pace a tad bit. We can actually drop that, drop this. Alright. Does he have guard? Yeah, he does have guard. Okay, I just gave him a buff. Uh-oh, oopsie daisy. 283, that's fine. Keep that up, Mahito. Actually, drop that. I want Mahito to get the break. Go, Mahito. Do your thing. Get that break, my boy. Get that break. It's all you. Bah! Suck his soul. 267k. So that's kind of like what I'm averaging in terms of the buffs. Now, in a situation where Mahito loses his domain expansion, it is fairly scary, I will admit, because at that very moment, he is an open target. This is the vulnerable state that unfortunately that he's in. As much of a monster that he is, building him up to his initial attacks that he's capable of doing, unfortunately, once fun and games are over and you're back to square one, I will admit it does get a bit kind of like, oh god, what do I do now? You know. But thankfully, with how his second skill works, again in a single target scenario, he does kind of have that form of protection. It's just you want to make sure you do have that cursed energy replenishment locked in for him. That's something that I would highly suggest you have on the ready for the man himself. I might just, I don't want to do too much damage. I mean, well, we've got Gojo for 2 more turns. I mean, 3 more turns, so we can waste. So right now, I'm kind of building up my ultimate gauge because obviously we do want to get that ultimate gauge popping off again. So we're just going to slowly build that up. There we go. Help that will help us out. We'll just do a single attack here. Do want to also get my cursed energy flowing from Yuki's buff, as much as I do want to apply that second skill to give myself more protection, but it's fine. Unless the enemy damn it. Okay, it's fine. That's it, okay. So we'll do this. We'll drop that. I'm not going to apply the recollection card. Okay, there we go. Now we've got that green. That will help out Mahito in the long run. There we go. Beautiful. So Gojo will come in, do his attack. Again, I could have, obviously, this might actually do a lot of damage. Yeah. I forget Gojo can do a lot of damage. I forget. But that's fine. It's A-okay. I'm going to see if I can tank that. I'm gonna take the initial hit. I don't know if he's gonna do AoE hits or not. Please don't do AoE hits. No. To be fair, it will get to the point where like Mahito and Gojo, for most, that will be the most common green combo wombo that I think many people will make good use of. I mean, again, Itadori and Nanami are still going to be in the equation since they are day one characters. Going forward, I mean, look, there are more characters to come for the green typing. But again, in a free-to-play manner, we won't be able to experience those units as we would have to rely on the general banner to pull up and give us those set characters. So hence why I say Gojo, because again, that's probably one of the better. Well, no, well he is the best green unit so far. So you know, there's that. That's what's going to be in our favor. Okay, Jogo is pissing me off right now, and I'm not liking this. Hopped onto this fight because again he's green, so we're gonna teach him a lesson. You guys already know the drill. You guys already know the drill. Okay, we are taking unnecessary amount of damage. Okay, this is not good. Drop that. There we go. Do some single targets, please. Let us be. What the frick? Okay, we tanked that though. Okay, drop that. There we go. Mahito, come in. Do your thing, my guy. We're taking over. We're taking over the domain expansion. I'm sorry, Jogo. It's time things changed around here. What's the break? 500k. Going into 350. 944 right there. Ooh, not bad, not bad, not bad. Damage up. And then we can start feeding. Get the damage going. 282 from Gojo. Mahito comes in. And just insta-kills. There you go. That's that stipulation. That actually look, it comes in clutch. If these boys didn't die, god damn it, would have gone that. Alrighty guys, I think that's kind of where I'm gonna call it. So like, obviously with Mahito, he does have power behind him. That's just kind of clear as day. You've seen it with what his ultimate kind of possesses. You know, that domain expansion is not to be slept on. Huge potential to do a disgusting amount of damage, which will help you out in general, of course. And then even leading into once you're in that domain expansion, with the little, well, I say little, I mean look, man's dropping 250, 300k, 400k, well, for around about 250 to 300 me personally, but it's still a decent amount of damage that he is dishing out, of course. So in a free-to-play manner, in a free-to-play perspective, those type of numbers you kind of want. Let's be real, you kind of want, especially if you're in a position where your account doesn't possess that good amount of green DPS. Mahito is sitting right in front of you, ready to be utilized. So do not sleep on that. And again, with green mono, perfect addition for DPS. Of course, you can rely on the SR Yuki, the SR Momo. I mean, you got your typical buffers for the game itself, but if we're predominantly speaking of how green will be coming across, you know, you can go about furthermore supporting Mahito in that manner. Of course, you can utilize Mahito as a main DPS, you can utilize Mahito in a sub DPS. Again, if you've got Gojo, I will primarily say use him as a main. Mahito could be a sub, Mahito could be a cleanup crew. That's kind of like at that point where you want to be, but Mahito is kind of like one under Gojo in terms of, you know, ranking them in tier wise lists, of course. So Gojo is right now the best green DPS that we have in the game, kind of self-explanatory with his ultimate clearly, but you know, for Mahito to be a free-to-play character, you know, he's literally right behind him being like, I've got your back, and that's exactly what you want. Again, if you want to utilize him as the main man to kind of help you out, providing that green DPS, then again you can mix and match, throw Nanami in there, throw Itadori in there, of course. Can't really speak about any other green DPS because they're not in the game just yet, but you guys get the idea. But yeah, overall, Mahito, pick him up. Honestly, probably will be the #1 unit that I would highly recommend you pick him up. Even if you've got Gojo, I've got Gojo, I can quite easily be like, I should really go for Hanami. I'm going to be maximizing my green DPS. I'm definitely going to be maximizing my green DPS, and that's what I would actually really suggest being your #1 pick. Just get Mahito, get him out of the way. Green in general is in my eyes, might get something big happening at a later time with the Shibuya arc, who knows, because I feel like that's kind of what we need right now, especially with what's happening with the other previous typings. I'm just saying. But yeah, Mahito, fantastic character, another domain expansion type character, and so with that the developers have really cooked with this unit as per usual. Just as good as he is, and as good as he sounds in terms of the damage output that he can dish out, just know in the long run, once that domain expansion is gone, you are then at that point a sitting duck, unfortunately, up until you can get him going again. So there is a little bit of a consequence time for this man, so just be wary. Yes, he's fantastic in the damage output, but if the enemy survive long enough, it'll start to become a bit of a problem if you can't survive long.